When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day it goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners and shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone. Learn off of them, one-on-one. Now, that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars. But I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro. Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grande and philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. This message is for those of you asking the question, what do you think the stock market is going to do?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
You have payroll jobs still coming in strong, even though there's an argument that they may be a bit overstated, but still, they're strong.
A bit overstated? What are you, nuts? This is great. Just a bit. It's amazing. What a week this week. We have phony PPI and CPI numbers, and then unbelievable phony job numbers. It's just crazy. But before we get to those numbers, you ever hear that sound in the middle of the night? You ever get up in the middle of the night, get something, you get a drink of water or something, you hear that sound. It sounds like this big vacuum sound or sucking sound. We hear it in the middle of the night. What is that? Well, it's the government. It's our government. It's our Congress. They're sucking from the homeowners, about 130 million hard-working homeowners, their wealth. They're taking their money. to support Biden's, gone, it's crazy spending habit, gone wild. I mean, the spending this man does is incredible. And all that money is coming out of the folks' pockets. And that's why you have less money in your wallet under Biden than you did under Trump. And that's a fact. You can look it up. I'm not making it up. That's a fact. I mean, he just doesn't stop spending. I mean, I'm watching Ukraine, and how he just gave, I forgot how many billions more. We don't have the billions to give Ukraine. We don't have money. We're broke. We have to print it, or we have to borrow it. And when we print it, we're creating inflation. And people ask, why don't we just keep printing? If we got a printing machine, why borrow it? Because when you print, you're creating massive inflation. But at least when you borrow it, you're not. So it's terrible. It made it sound like we won the war in inflation this week with the PPI and the CPI number. We didn't win any war. Inflation's getting worse. Crazy. Now, remember, always remember that when they come out with the CPI and the PPI, forget the CPI. Always look at the PPI. That's the important one, because that's the one that tells you what things are going to cost in the future, especially if you're a small business person. You want to know what your inventory is going to cost you in the future. That's what you look at right there. Or you're an individual. That's the important one. What am I going to be paying for this cell phone in the future, or the glasses in the future? It doesn't do me much good to worry about the CPI. I've already paid for it. So that's the one you want to look at. But let's get to the numbers. So they came out with a gain of 162,000 jobs in April. So in May they came out with 272,000. Everybody was excited, having a party. Strong job numbers. And all they keep telling us is how we have these strong labor market, which we don't have a strong labor market. I'm going to prove it. Now, when they came out with the 272,000 jobs in May over the 160,000 jobs in April, yeah, that's good news for workers. Because if it was true, that means you have more money in your pocket to spend. It also means that, you can, it's easier to switch jobs. You got leverage also to get a pay raise, to bump your pay. However, when we deduct from that 272,000 jobs in May, you deduct people who are working multiple jobs, 408,000 jobs, boom, gone, plunged, done, we lost. And that's why you saw our unemployment rate increase to 4%, the highest in 2 years. So here they're all excited about 272,000 jobs, but the unemployment rate went up. Remember they said, we got 272,000 jobs, unemployment rate's up, ticked up to 4%, 3.9 to 4%. Well, how does unemployment rates go up when you have a great job number? Well, you know why, because that 272,000, first of all, they didn't have 272,000. They had 232,000 jobs they produced. They're called phantom jobs, make-believe jobs. It's legal. It's called the birth-death metric system. It's a system put in place by President Kennedy's father so he could fudge the numbers. And they're called phantom. So there's only 50 real jobs, real people. 272 were fake. And then remember, go back and think about 408. We lost 408,000 jobs when you take out the people who are working multiple jobs. So the market, though, keeps rallying. Why? Well, because now remember, the reason the market's been rallying all along is the promise of rate cuts. Well, we only got one rate cut now for this year. We were supposed to have 7. So what they do, they pump the market up. They said, but don't worry. We're going to give you the 7 that we cut. We're going to keep 1. We're going to give it to you in September. Oh, and by the way, we're going to give 4 rate cuts in 2025, 4 rate cuts in 2026. What are you nuts? If they fall for it, and the market starts to rally, except for the Dow 30. The Dow 30 didn't rally. You can see the Dow 30 stocks, especially the small mid-cap stocks, they need rate cuts. They're dying. They need rate cuts. But nobody's looking at the Dow 30. Nobody cares about the Dow 30. Everybody's looking at the big tech stocks. But that's why the Dow 30, we've had some good shorting opportunities coming along in the Dow 30 stocks. So the Dow 30's turned negative. And because, again, they've been counting on those 7 rate cuts, and they didn't get them. Also, remember, they keep talking about, it's different this time. It's different this time. They're talking about the tech stocks. It's different now. It's unlike 1999 and 2001. It's much different. Not to worry about it. Much different this time. Really? But it's not. It's not different this time. The only thing that's different is that they're giving us a story that, hey, this AI addiction, this AI madness, because of this craze, these AI stocks, the 4 or 5 biggest ones that would market caps over $1 trillion, or NVIDIA over $3 trillion, those stocks will never go down. They'll never crash. They'll never crash. They won't contract much because they're so strong. They're so big. I mean, think of NVIDIA, $3 trillion market cap. Think of NVIDIA. In the last, 6 months, it's gone up 200%. Since 2009, it's gone up 50,000%. So their point is they're immune. The reason the market's going to keep rallying, and people say, where's the crash? Where's the crash? I get emails all the time, where's the crash? You keep saying there's a crash. Where is it? Oh, it's coming. But what they're saying is Wall Street, I shouldn't say Wall Street, the fake business news networks are saying that these stocks, these AI stocks, are immune from pandemics, debt and deficits, inflation, inverted yield curves, massive money supply, recession. Nothing can touch them. Do you believe that? If you do, you got to be nuts. I'll be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone, learn off of them, one-on-one. Now that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars. But I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, it's like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, I've been doing this business of trading over 55 years. God, they make it so complicated. It doesn't have to be. The best way to learn is to follow me, my actual investments. That's right. When I buy a stock, you follow me. Do exactly what I do. That's the best way to learn.
Check out the free 10-day trial. Learn more at philsgang.com.
Be my co-pilot at philsgang.com. Do what I do.
That's philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. You know, I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
We do not expect it will be appropriate to reduce the target range for the federal funds rate until we have gained greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably toward 2%. You know, since we raised rates this far, we've always been pointing to cuts at a certain point, not to eliminate the possibility of hikes.
You talk about double talk, isn't it? It's unbelievable. And what they're saying, it doesn't matter anymore about rate cuts. Yes, it matters for the Dow 30. That's why the Dow 30 is running negative when we had the S&P positive and we had the NASDAQ positive. Because the Dow 30 stocks, especially the small mid-cap stocks, the Russell, they need cuts. Those companies are dying. They got to get rate cuts. But what they're saying is we don't need to do that, because when you take NVIDIA and you take three other companies, four of the seven companies, including NVIDIA, that they're so huge that it doesn't matter anymore about, earnings it doesn't matter anymore about how the economy's doing. It doesn't matter if we have inflation or no inflation. It just doesn't matter. Because it's different this time. Well, it's not different this time. Now, let's think about this. In 2023, the 7 mega stocks contributed 66% of its first quarter gains. Well, we just finished our first quarter now. I mean, we're finishing our second quarter now. But our first quarter for 2024, those same 7 stocks contributed half of that, 33% of the first quarter gains. See what's going on here? So it's the same thing that happened back in 1999 to 2001. But investors still believe that the truth is NVIDIA will carry everybody. Carry everybody, but it's not going to carry everybody. It just doesn't work like that. Now, let's take a look at, for example, when you break down the S&P 500 companies, let's take it and break it down. Only the companies, let's take the companies that are $1 trillion plus cap companies, $1 trillion plus. Over the 12 months, past 12 months, they had all the big returns. And the smaller companies that aren't $1 trillion market, they had all the biggest losses. So you see, we have just a handful of companies out of 5,000 that trade that are holding up this whole market. It's insane. Now, people get mad when I say, oh, we're going to get a crash at some time. Oh, they don't want to hear that. I mean, I'm like a Salem witch when I say that. I get loaded with emails every day. Oh, you're wrong. You've been wrong. You've been wrong. But what's keeping the market rallying and why it's not coming back and it's not correcting because of this narrative that these 5 stocks or 5 stocks are going to keep this whole market rallying. And because as long as we keep promising rate cuts, now remember, the market has been going up. The Dow 30, remember, the market's been going up since October 2022 because we've been promising rate cuts since October 22. And so what they're saying, as long as they keep promising rate cuts, that it's going to take care of all those stocks that have the smaller cap stocks, including these Russell. But what nobody's talking about, since 1954, I think it was, 1954, every time we had a crash, the S&P would always come down and meet where Russell was. So it always, the S&P, the Dow always go to where the Russell is. So there's a huge divergence in the market right now. When you look at the Russell, let's look at symbol IWM, and you look at where the S&P is, it's huge. But sometime it's going to turn around and come back and go down and meet where IWM has never failed in 25 years or 50 years, whatever it is, since 1955, I guess. So again, when you break down the big companies that have market caps $1 trillion or more, they were the winners. Only a handful of them. But when you take, they were up 17% through June. Okay? But when you take the small caps, they were negative. They were practically negative, up about 1.5%. That's it. So you see, everybody is saying they're too big to fail. It's different this time. And that's when it gets dangerous. And then when they try to tell us the reason, now remember, the stock market has nothing to do with the economy. When we buy and sell stock short, we don't make a decision based on what the economy is doing, if it's good or bad. The only thing that it connects with is that, well, if companies are doing poorly because the economy's doing poorly and people don't have money, then the company's earnings drop. But when we make a decision to buy or sell a stock short, we base it on not fundamentals. By the way, fundamentals are dead, gone. If you think And I know all the Wall Street companies are always telling all your brokers that they're making decisions on what they're going to put you in based on the PE ratios, based on price to sales, price to book, return on assets, profit margins. That's gone. Nobody cares about fundamentals. We care about technicals. And the technical you're looking at is the money flow. Where's the money going? How much volume is there? That's what you have to watch. And I also want to show you something when they're telling us how that they beat inflation. They beat inflation, the PPI, CPI. It's coming down. Inflation's coming. And remember how the market took off with the CPI and the PPI came down? Bunch of nonsense. Here, take a look at my chart right here. I put up a chart so when I get back from the break, I want to show you how they're so full of crap when they're saying that they're winning the war on inflation. Are you nuts? They're losing the war.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners and shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
When the stock market is volatile, how do you invest intelligently?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. There's no need for you to be panicking in a market that goes up 800 points one day, 700 points, then it goes down again. All you need is good advice, need good direction. You don't get that from your CNBC and the Fox Business and all these crazy shows. You don't. Here's what you get from them. Thank you, Jim Cramer. But this is something that this really bugs me. Listen to this.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What? Their responsibility is to their partners and shareholders and not to you? Check my site out, philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need the experience of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
What a difference it makes in your financial life. philsgang.com. It works. You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
The banking system, seems to be in good shape.
Banking system seems to be in good shape. Welcome back to Phil's Gang. By the way, you can join the gang. If you want to check it out, it's free for 10 days. Just go to philsgang.com or click the link on my bio if you're in YouTube. And by the way, you can go to YouTube, okay, where I do long and short segments. And then every Friday I do my podcast, my radio show. All right, so that's a bold-faced lie. The banking system's in terrible shape. They're in trouble. The delinquencies in car loans and credit cards are super high, historic highs. I mean, my God, they just don't tell the truth. Just like the other day, he was saying how the reason we had this last rally, they're saying, wow, look at this. The CPI's down, the PPI's down. Wow, we're doing good. Really? Let's tell the truth. Take a look at this chart. Take a look at this chart. By the way, don't forget to go to my gift shop, because next Saturday we're going to have a webinar. And we're going to talk about shorting and going long, and going to be from 12 to 3. Now, you don't have to be there. It's only $95, I think. And it's going to be from noon to 3. If you don't have to attend, because it's archived for 2 weeks, so make sure you get that. All right, I want to show you something. Inflation. They've been lying to us. What hasn't changed, what hasn't come down, is the necessities. When they say, oh, inflation's coming down, they're talking about toys. they're talking about furniture. This is stuff that is discretionary. You don't need it. What's come down is, again, pet products. Hotel rooms. I mean, how many people need a hotel room? Electronics, new vehicles, school books and supplies. So in other words, discretionary items. So let's go to the items that count. These have not been coming, so that's why they're lying about inflation. These aren't coming down, they're going up. Auto insurance is up 20%. And remember, wages are not meeting inflation. When you hear them lie and tell you, wow, look at wages, they're coming up now. How about rent? Still up big time. God, housing, got to talk about housing. That's not up. Are you kidding me? Nobody can afford a house anymore. Another one, medical care up big time. Prescription drugs. Oh, and by the way, they always bring up how this administration is cutting prescription drug costs. It doesn't kick in, I don't think, for 3 to 5 years. I'll check it, but I think it's 3 to 5 years. Gasoline. Groceries. So you see what I'm saying? When you look at your auto insurance, rent, housing, medical care, everything we use every day, it's going, prescription drugs, gasoline. You see what I'm saying? Those are going up. But they don't talk about that. They focus on the ones that are going down that we don't need. It's just disgusting. So the biggest problem right now is households, 310 million households, are now paying, we're feeling the pain of Biden's monetary policies that he put in 2021, like the American Rescue Plan. He didn't rescue America. He screwed us. That was one of the biggest socialist plans ever. We're paying for that right now. That's where the inflation's coming from. And it's still going to go up because of that plan. My God, what he put in that plan is all social programs. So, remember, and when he put that plan together, the American Rescue Plan, how did they sell it? They sold it in the same manner they sold Medicare and food stamps. They'd be only used in an emergency. Do you think that Medicaid and food stamps are being used only in an emergency? What are you, nuts? Now, they sold to the taxpayers that, again, that all these programs, okay, would not disincentivize work. But Biden's programs and the American Rescue Plan and the Omnibus Bill, another one he had, are disincentivizing work. People aren't working. They're making more money off these social programs than going to work. Now, the problem we're also having is by Biden, and we know why they're letting the borders be open, and they're bringing all the illegal migrants here, which, by the way, the last jobs number, 75% of the jobs that were available were taken by illegals. 310,000 working Americans were fired. Go home. And they gave their job to a migrant who will work for half. This administration is working with these large corporations in concert with them to pass them right through the border, man. Get them right through, get whatever papers they need to get them to work for these big corporations. Now, this is terrible what's going on. So when a lot of this inflation that we're never going to get to 2%. It's not going to happen. Not in our lifetime. And then what does he do? He's saying his program doesn't disincentivize work. What about the student loan forgiveness program? That disincentivizes work. How many people are working because they have to pay for insurance? And how many people are working, they get a job for insurance? How many people work to pay back their student loan? A boatload. But they don't work. They don't have to anymore. Because now they have all the different kind of insurance programs that they can give these people, which migrants come over, and they're illegal migrants, they can sign up for as well. It's just crazy. The manufacturing companies, okay, we're not manufacturing anything anymore. So what they're doing is they're taking all the service jobs. They're taking all the part-time jobs, especially in the service sector. It's the only place where there's jobs. And they've come in and taken 75% of these service jobs. And when you got all these other people now out of work, which this administration is taking care of with welfare. Because remember, they want these people as their new Democrats. These are new Democrat voters. That's the idea behind it, so they can take the Supreme Court and pack it. Because remember, they want one-party rule in our country. They want only one party to make the decisions, the Socialist Democrats. What's going on? So what do we do with the stock market? How do you make money with all this crap going on? Easy. Very easy. It's almost a gift. We'll go over that when we get back. Join my gang, philsgang.com. Free for 10 days.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grande and philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, or you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone, learn off of them, one-on-one. Now that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars, but I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's Gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color-coded chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Is there a plan to bring this number down materially, and I'm talking about the total debt load, that you see the president pursuing?
Well, I think that if the debt is stabilized relative to the size of the economy, that we're in a reasonable place.
I mean, she's a dope. Janet Yellen is a dope. She has no idea what she's doing. She's never had a job in her life. She's always been a professor at a college, never had to go out and earn money, worked for the government. She's an idiot. Oh my God, she's an idiot. I mean, people are in trouble. Consumer confidence, just think about it. Consumer confidence at a 6-month low. Record 22 million people are working part-time jobs and on top of a full-time job. Inflation since 2021, real inflation, not the BS numbers, are up 21%. Rent, gasoline, electricity, all up. And wages can't even put a nick into it. 401ks, hardship withdrawals are up 33%, the highest emergency withdrawals since 2009. Hours worked slashed. Workers can't get overtime. Credit cards maxed out. It's just a joke. So here's what we do for stocks. You got to remember, okay, if you're going to make money in the stock market, you got to understand the stock market is not the economy. The economy is not the stock market. Now, the stock market, it used to be you'd watch because interest rates, deficits, eventually it would hurt the corporate profits, their earnings. And earnings used to be the blood, the basis for everything. Earnings. But no more. Nobody cares about it. You don't have to have earnings anymore to make money. I mean, to get your stock up. These CEOs of companies don't need earnings. They're still doing, and they're still doing right now, more QE. They're doing more QE right now. They don't need profits. They don't need earnings. They just keep buying their own shares. That's why, and remember, they want this inflation. This government wants inflation because when you have inflation, when we borrow money from Japan, we borrow money from China, and we give them the treasury bill, and we have to pay that and buy it back. Remember what's going on. They want the inflation so that the value of the dollar goes down. So if with inflation, if we have, let's say, $1 million debt, and if they can get inflation to come up, instead of writing a check for $1 million, we only have to write them a check for $700,000. You get what I'm saying? That's why they want inflation. Because the more inflation, the value of the dollar goes down. So our debt goes down without paying it down. So don't pay attention when they tell you how they're concerned about inflation. They want inflation. And the very, very wealthy want inflation. Because remember, the wealthy are asset investors. They have assets. And those assets go up in value as long as inflation goes up. Look at Pelosi's vineyards. She made over $1 billion in profit on her vineyards.
The economy continues to be very strong.
It's unbelievable. So they want inflation, so they lie to us about inflation, how they're fighting it. They're not fighting it. This is the way they can pay down our debt. But remember, the people who are in Congress are unlike you and me. They're multimillionaires, these people. They want to see inflation so their artwork goes up, so their vineyards go up, so their silver and their diamonds and all their special assets, real estate, all go up. So what you do is just, when you buy a stock, it's totally separate now. Stocks have nothing to do with earnings or anything else anymore. The only thing that pushes up a stock is money flow. The big institutions, which stock are they buying? So what I do with my members, we have 6 groups, okay, that we stay with, where all the money goes. Or not all, but the majority of the money goes. So we stay with exactly oil. We're in that sector. And we stay with 6 sectors. I'll give them to you. Schlumberger is oil. And we also trade the ETF, XLE. Apple is one of our 6 stocks. Now remember, we stay with these 6 stocks all year. And XLK is the ETF. Semiconductors, AMD, SMH is our ETF. Our banks, JP Morgan, we stay with that for a whole year. XLF is the ETF. Industrials, Boeing is our stock. And leisure stocks, discretionary stocks. And we have a hotel, Hyatt. So basically, our individual stocks that we stay with all year, we don't change them. Schlumberger, Apple, AMD, JP Morgan, Boeing, and Hyatt. And then we have the ETF that they're in, so we can play the ETF. So that's how you make money to begin with. You got to select where you want to be. Forget earnings and free cash flow and all the fundamentals. Just forget the fundamentals. They don't even apply anymore. It's a joke. Now, gold, we've been doing good with gold, and because countries are not going to run to buy bonds. When all hell breaks loose, they will. I know nobody believes it. I get more hate mail. People saying, you've been wrong about the market. It's never going to crash. You've been saying it's going to crash. It's never going to crash. One dope says, I've been sitting here waiting for a crash. I could have been making a lot of money. Well, obviously he's not a gang member. Because who would sit there and wait for a crash? You've got to be a dope. Who would do that? You don't do that. Remember, when we look at a market or stocks and we see that the market is in bad shape, we just don't sit waiting for a crash. We know they can keep pushing the stocks up. We know that. They can push stocks up without earnings, without profits. They don't need profits to push stocks up. They don't have to have earnings to push the stock price up anymore. So you follow the stock. So gold, for example, we know that gold is, mining stocks are going to get better and better. Now they're pulling back a little bit right now, okay? But I'm telling you, we've made a lot of money in our gold mining stocks. And those are really doing good. And again, if you learn how to sell short as well as go long, it doesn't matter. Like, for example, let's take GDX. We got into GDX a couple times. The last time we got into GDX was around $29. And then we've been in it ever since, and we took some profits around $38, $36. And then also we start to see selling coming in, so now we're just starting to short it. And when more money comes in, to turn around, it'll turn green for us, and we'll buy it again. So in other words, we don't look at the fundamentals of a company. That's insane. We look at, are the institutions buying it? Now, all I know about gold is gold's going to go more and more and more because all these countries, all these central governments, they're all buying gold like crazy. You just got to know, like with us now, I have my members shorting the miners right now. But we're up probably about 15% we made buying them. Now we kept that profit. Now we're going to turn around and sell them short. See, 90% of people lose money in the stock market because they only buy. Because they only buy. You got to be prepared to sell short. And one of the best things to be in all year long, if you know how to buy and sell short, the spiders. You always make more money than in a 401k. See you on the chart. Join my gang.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me to make